Oh, hi there. I'm Cody. I'm in my 40s. I really like long walks on the beach or hikes. I like to read a good book now and then. I like movies. I like just hanging out sometimes. I'm pretty busy with school, but I'd make time for you. Look, if you're feeling it, like I think maybe I'm feeling it, go ahead, swipe right, and who knows, we might have a very good time together. What's that? This is the game review. I thought this was the app. For the app? The singles app? Didn't you read the schedule? My secretary puts that together for a reason. Look, all right, we'll do the game review. We'll do the singles app later. All right? Fine. Hello, welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Joke. Today we're going to take a look at Undaunted Normandy from Osprey Games. In Undaunted Normandy from Osprey Games, two players are going to go ahead and take on the role of the American or the German army in France in 1944, during something called World War II. Essentially, this is a deck-building game and a squad-based tactical game. You're going to go ahead and construct a map with these various tiles based on specific scenarios that are found in the scenario book. Now, you're going to have different kind of tokens representing different squads, usually with a letter, a squad A, squad B, squad C, etc., etc. And you've got different kind of units. You've got riflemen, you've got scouts, you've got machine gunners, you've got mortars, etc., etc. And then you have really three different kinds of cards you're going to have in the game. You're going to have your combat cards. Now, these combat cards represent those specific counters. For instance, you will have so many cards from the Rifleman A unit, or you will have so many cards from the Scout B unit, etc., etc. You also have command cards. These are like squad leaders, platoon sergeants, and they will let you do different things. And then you'll also have Fog of War cards that will pop up in your deck as well. This game actually has just different actions that you can play. Usually that action followed by a number. That's the number of times you can do that. For instance, a move 2, would allow you, of course, to move 2. If you've got the scout units, you can go ahead and scout. That means you can move through different spaces. And as you move through these different tiles, you would actually place a binoculars token on there showing that they have been scouted, because your other units can't move into those tiles until they have been scouted. You also have combat actions. A lot of times these will say attack and then a number next to it, meaning that's how many die you can roll. Essentially, during combat, you can target any enemy unit on the board. You're going to look at their cover. Now, their cover is the unit itself will have a cover printed on it. You'll also have the cover of the specific tile they're on, and then you will add the distance between the attacking player and the target player. So you'll add all those numbers together. You've got to roll equal to or greater than that number in order to inflict damage. If you do inflict damage, say you're targeting a Rifleman A on your enemy's company, he has to remove a Rifleman A from his hand, or then his discard pile, then his deck. You can also suppress units, meaning you get to roll more dice, you got more chances to suppress them. That means they don't take casualties, you just flip them over, and then for their action they have to flip back over the next turn. They essentially lose an action. You can also do blast with the mortars, which is kind of a wide area attack against them as well. Now you have a number of support actions that you can do. For instance, you can have some cards that say bolster. Now, you have cards in your supply. These are cards of the specific units that are in front of you. If you take the bolster action, essentially you can take those cards from the supply and put them in your discard deck so they can come back up later in your deck and you can play them later. You can play Command. Command will let you draw a number of cards from your deck and add them to your hand immediately for you to play on that turn. You can play Conceal, which essentially allows you to take a Fog of War card from your enemy's supply and put that in their discard pile. Their Fog of War card is just like a vulnerability card in DC or a wound card in Marvel. They just take up space. The Rifleman will have control, meaning if a Rifleman is in a spot that's already been scouted, you can go ahead and flip the scout symbol to a control, meaning that that particular faction controls that tile. You can take an Inspire action, which will essentially let you take cards from your supply and play them immediately. You can take a Recon action. A Recon action generally will let you get rid of your own Fogs of War. It's a way to kind of cull your own deck from those Fog of War cards. And then, of course, you can do a targeting action for the mortars. Now, there's a few more actions that are going there, but those are the basic actions that are going to come up on those different cards that you will play. Now, typically, you will have every turn you will draw 4 cards. Now, first of all, you'll go ahead and you'll play one of those cards, not for the action, but for the number, because each of those cards has a number. Whichever card has the higher number will determine initiative. If it's tied, whoever had the initiative the preceding turn will retain initiative. But essentially, initiative, of course, is what's going to let you go first that round. Now, several of the tiles that you put out are going to have essentially point values attached to them, objective, victory point tiles. So what you're trying to do during the game is you're trying to maneuver your guys to get the required number of victory tiles, which of course is stated in the scenario guide, and you're trying to prevent your enemy from doing the same thing. So as you're playing your cards and you're trying to move your guys, you're also trying to inhibit your enemy from getting to those objectives, whether you are attacking them, suppressing them, or just trying to outmaneuver them. So whichever player is able to gain control of the required number of victory tiles, whoever does that first, the game immediately ends, and they win that scenario of Undaunted Normandy. So I got to tell you, a few things here. As many of you know, I'm working on my PhD. It wouldn't be a video of the Discriminating Gamer without me mentioning how smart I am. But I'm working on the PhD on World War II history. Specifically, I'm looking at American generalship in World War II. I'm looking a little bit at what happened at France, among other things, and other places. And so I'm a sucker for a good World War II game. And I love World War II tactical games. I love Tide of Iron, which is no longer in print, but that was always a favorite of mine. I love kind of these World War II squad-level tactical games. I haven't played a lot of them, to be honest, but I love the ones I've played. So this game really appealed to me on that level. The game also appealed to me because I'm a big fan of games that integrate deck-building mechanics. I love board games that have a deck-builder component to them. I think they are just fantastic. And so I was really excited to play this because it kind of is a marriage of this theme I really like with a mechanic that I really like. And yet, the deck building mechanic here is a lot different than I thought it was going to be. It's not like a typical deck builder where you're buying cards and then playing them. This one, you've got the cards that don't have numbers on them, they have actions. I mean, they do have numbers for the initiative, but they don't have, it's not like you're buying cards like you do in like Legendary or something like that. It's a very different system. You're playing the cards based on the actions they give you, and that is very cool. It's very cool, too, how when you're attacking your enemy and you're trying to take them out, their casualties are their cards. So your cards are also kind of a currency in a sense. They let you take actions with the guys, but they also represent the actual, squad members. They each have individual names, and when you lose them, it's like you're losing a member of your team. And that is very cool, too. It's very well done. The production itself is great. This is a little game. The box isn't that big, but it's got a lot of game in it. The tiles are good quality. Cards are good quality. I like the dice that you've got to roll. It's 10-sided dice. A 10 is always a hit, incidentally. But I like the system of attacking, where you're adding the unit's natural cover. It's the cover from the tile it's on, plus the distance. I think that's a very cool and interesting way to roll here. There were some issues. Some people I saw complain on Board Game Geek or have issues with the fact there's not really a line of sight. This doesn't really have a lot to do with line of sight. You can pretty much attack anyone on the board. That's a little jarring at first, but it kind of makes sense once you play it, and it works really well once you play it. What I'm saying here is, I played this game several times now with a few friends. Everybody I played this game with loved it. And I love it. This game is amazing. It's astounding. I recently read an interview with one of the designers, and it almost sounds like they may do other Undaunted games, and this may just be the first in a line of games. I really hope that's true, because this game is phenomenal. I've said this before about some games I've played, but I am seriously looking at this for my game of the year so far. This one may be in the lead. There's still some others I really like this year, but this one is just fantastic. I love this game. It gives you a deck builder, it scratches that itch, but it also, I think, is a really fun and clever tactical squad-level game. It scratches that itch for sure. And what I like about this game best of all is these games are quick. You finish one, you're ready for another one. They're quick, they are fun games, and they are intense, and you are sweating it, and there is tough choices. How are you going to play this card? Which action are you going to take from that card? Are you going to try to scout that area? Are you going to try to give the guy a fog of war? Your rifleman, are you going to shoot, or are you going to try to control? There's so many things going on here with this game, and so many choices, and just this is a perfect marriage of mechanics, of theme, and fun. This is a fantastic game. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm not just going to say buy this game. I'm going to say if you don't buy this game, you're stupid, Darren. Seriously, buy this game. It is awesome. I want you to buy it, to love it, and have fun, because you will. This is a phenomenal game. Undaunted Normandy isn't just a winner. It's a super mega awesome winner. Buy it, buy it, buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and on the off chance that any attractive women are watching this review, maybe you could swipe right?
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Look in the camera, Margaret. Look.
Thank you for ruining my daddy's life.